Hi, I'm Simon, and today I'm going to demo the new Queue Profiles feature on Webhook.site. And so far on Webhook.site, when you run workflows with custom actions, you've been able to run them asynchronously. So they run in the background in our shared queue. But with queue profiles, you can control exactly how many jobs are executed, either per minute or per hour or even per second. And that's great when you're, for example, wanting to send data to an API that's rate limited and you have more data than the API allows. And in this case, you can set up a queue profile to kind of limit the flow of data that's sent. And of course, this works not only with HTTP requests, but all of the actions that's supported by Webhook.site. So in this example, we have two URLs. We have the rate limit source URL, which we are basically going to bombard with data all at once. And we have another URL called rate limited, which will receive the data, but in a slow fashion, so it doesn't get overwhelmed. And this is kind of to simulate an API out in the real world that's rate limited. But let's go ahead and set up a queue profile. So let's just give it a name, and let's just leave the group field blank because we don't need it to be in a group. And for the initial delay, we're going to set this to 0 seconds. But if you have a flow where you need some data to consolidate, or you kind of need to wait a little bit for some data to arrive, you can set the initial delay. And in the rate limit configuration, we're going to allow for 5 jobs every 10 seconds. And this is kind of an arbitrary amount. It's kind of low, and this is only to show you here in the demo so we don't have to wait several minutes. And in our case, we are simply going to expire jobs in 30 seconds. So with that, we can go ahead and take a source URL. And this is where we want to control the flow of data to a rate limited URL. So we're going to create an HTTP request action, and we're going to copy our rate limited URL and enter our URL. Now we select the queue function and we select my queue profile. And as you can see, the delay field was removed because the delay is set in the profile itself. So let's go ahead and create my action. So let's see how that works in practice. So I have a little script here which sends 30 requests to my rate limit source URL, and it does that all in one go. So let's just execute that. And as we can see, we got 30 requests immediately. And if we go over to our rate limited URL, we can see the requests are kind of trickling in. So we get about 5 requests every 10 seconds. So now that it's been about 30 seconds, we should start to see some of our requests fail over here. And this is because they have exceeded the job expiry or the job lifetime. In our example, we've set it pretty low to 30 seconds. In most cases, it would be like a day, or for enterprise subscribers, you can set it up to a week. So we can go here and we can see that we've received actually all of the 15 requests that we expected, and they've received in a manner that hasn't overloaded our rate limited pretend API here. That's nice, but what about these failed ones? Well, one thing you can do is you can replay those, and we have this filter preset where you can select has error, and basically it will select all of these that failed, and you can just click replay and they will go back into the queue and be processed again. Otherwise, you can head back into control panel and you can see an error log. You can see all those that failed here, and you can go directly back to your task runner URL here and see those that failed. So that's a quick demo of queue profiles. Thanks for watching.